Hello fellow teachers. You are a really great teacher. You did so well in explaining the lesson and your preparation was by the book. But I need your classroom to be more vibrant. I need your students to engage more and I need it to be more enthusiastic and fun. These are the most common comments that you can hear from a supervisor after a class visit. So how can I overcome such challenge? How can I make my classroom more fun? How can I make it more enthusiastic? As we know, the teaching learning process is all about the students, the learners. It's all about engaging them more. It's all about making the learning environment more fun and effective. And there are some strategies and games which will help us target and achieve such goals and will help make the role of the teacher as a mentor more effective. As you can see, I'm dividing these games and strategies into three categories. Those which can be performed in the warm-ups, others which can be performed during class, and during the last minutes there are also some strategies and games. So let's try together to figure out how can we perform each of these strategies. Number one, flying questions. It's very simple to perform or achieve the flying question strategies in your classroom. For example, you can choose any of those hyperactive students to come into the board and face it. Stand his face next or in front of the board. Then he will start or she will start clapping hands. Clapping. And you will have a folded paper with a question. Once he starts clapping, you will hand out this folded question or folded paper into a student, who by turn will hand it into or pass it into another student, into another one, and the clapping is constant. Once he stops clapping, the one who has the question needs to answer it. And by so doing, you engage the hyperactive student and you engage more students during the class. So this is number one, the flying question strategy. Let's move on to number two, fan cards strategies. How can I perform it? You will have some cards for different colors and each card will have a question. And you're going to divide your classroom into groups of 3 students. Then you will start to go to each group and ask the first student to choose a card or draw a card. Then you will ask the second student to read the question. And you will ask the third one to answer it. The first one will draw the card randomly. The second one will read the question. And the third one will answer it. And of course, I don't have to tell you that these questions are from the previous studied lessons because this is the warmer-up stage. So they will be asked questions from the previous studied lessons as a revision. Number 3, magic cards. If you are presenting an illustrated video, you can use these magic cards to ask the students to write some comments or questions on this illustrated video. Instead of just sitting and watching, they can use these magic cards to write or to make some comments about the illustrated video. And after the video is finished, you can ask them to read their questions and you will start answering and pave the way to introduce your lesson. These are 3 of some of the strategies which you can use in the warmer-up stage. Let's move on to explaining the lesson. After you finish your warmer-up, you will start explaining the lesson, and during explanation, you need to make them more fun, you need to awaken them up, and you can depend on such strategies to perform or to achieve your goal. First of all, popsicles. Popsicles or ice sticks will have the students' names written on them. And you'll ask again one of those hyperactive students to help you choose any of these names randomly. Of course, he won't see the names, you will make it backside. And once he starts using or choosing any name, you will ask the students with the name to answer a question or to make a comment or whatever exercise you will have for them. These are the popsicles or the ice sticks. Then the 4 corners strategy. Again, we agreed that we can divide the classroom into groups, and you can also put in each corner inside the classroom a sign or a paper which has a certain question or an idea related to the lesson. If this idea is right or wrong, and you can ask them a question, and those who agrees to the idea or the answer written will go to the corner number A or B or C or D. And after that, after they move on, after they perform the TPR, and after they are awakened up, you can say the correct answer, and you can say some pep talks to those who chose the right corner. Number 3, hot seat game. This one is very popular, as you can choose any of those advanced students or those who would like to participate more, and he will sit in the middle of the class, and each group will prepare a question to ask them about the lesson. He will need to answer more, and by so doing they will exchange the questions and answers and ideas and so on. So these are 3 of the strategies that you can perform during class. After you explain the lesson, you move on to the last 10 minutes if you have any time, and you can make also some games and strategies in these last 10 minutes. For example, you can perform the fishbowl strategies by having a plate or any kind of bowls which has some folded paper, and each paper has a question. And again, you will choose a student who will choose any of these papers and will answer the question written in it about the explained lesson. The difference between the fishbowl and the fan cards or the flying question is that these are about the previous study lesson, but this one is about the just explained lesson that you just explained. And of course, there is 1-minute question strategy which will have a question about the whole class, like a wrap-up. For example, summarize or mention some main points in 1 minute, and you can perform it in the last 10 minutes of your classroom. By so doing, you can make your classroom more active and fun, but I need to note that each of these strategies are according to some adaptations. For example, the size and the stage of class. For example, if you are teaching to primary students, it's different from teaching to high school or junior high students. Each one have their characteristics. Each one will have their environment, duration of the class and duration of the lesson. If your lesson is 30 minutes or 45 minutes, you need to bear in mind the duration in order to perform each strategy out of these effectively without wasting any time. And of course, the nature of the lesson play a key role in choosing which strategies that you can perform inside your classroom. So I hope that I made some clear or useful points in active learning strategies, and I'm awaiting some ideas, more suggestions and ideas in order to share our experiences. Thank you very much, and see you in the next seminar.